Tours, welcome back to another episode of Maxwell Starr's Beer Review. Tonight, we're going to take a look at a beer that was brought back to me from Ontario, which originates in Tadcaster, England. Going to take a look at Samuel Smith's Old Brewery Tadcaster, the celebrated Oatmeal Stout. Samuel Smith's, the celebrated Oatmeal Stout, 5% ABV, an opaque, wonderfully silky and smooth textured ale with a complex medium dry palate and bittersweet finish. Brewed with well water, the original well sunk in 1758 is still in use. Malted barley, roasted barley, oatmeal, yeast, and hops. Fermented in open-top stone Yorkshire squares. The celebrated Oatmeal Stout is a style benchmark revived by Samuel Smith and the inspiration of hundreds of commercial oatmeal stouts. Yeah, it's even got a picture of them actually brewing it right on the back, where they got the whole, was it knocking down the lively head of the yeast formed during the fermentation in stone Yorkshire squares. That's pretty darn cool, actually. Yeah, so Samuel Smith's Old Brewery, Tadcaster, North Yorks, England. Right on, right on, right on. Heist Almighty's wife went on a meeting trip or something, training trip, up to Ontario. I can't remember exactly what city, but lucky for her, lucky for me, she offered me to bring me back a beer as well as a bunch for Heist Almighty, and the one I requested was Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. And in case she didn't find that, I requested that she bring me back Green King's Abbot Ale, and thank God she got me the Oatmeal Stout, because Green King's Abbot Ale just recently showed up here in our New Brunswick liquor stores. So without further ado, I'm going to take a look at this particular beer and see just how good it is. This one is one I've been excited to try ever since I first heard of this particular brewery, because one, I like stouts, and McCausland's Oatmeal Stout is one of my favorite stouts of all time. And not only that, I even put this on my 150th beer bucket list, my 150th episode beer bucket list, which is still on my channel if you want to watch it. And I get to cross another line across beers that are on that list now with this particular beer, and I am so excited to give this a try. So, give this a pour here. Lots of mocha brown head. And it's going to be still some left in the bottle. There's too much head to completely fill the glass. It's actually lighter than I was expecting. It's got quite a bit of ruby redness coming through, shining through the beer. It's not a whole lot, mind you. It's more or less, it's got a slight ruby red tinge, so like a little bit of light coming through the body, and up to the top, nothing, where it's a little thicker. So it's not as black as I thought it would be, because I think even like McCausland's Oatmeal Stout is pitch black, and there are a couple others that are really just pitch black. But really, is that a slight against a stout? No, not really. Although I have seen darker porters. Very, very pillowy, spongy head. It's got a nice pillowy appearance in the top with some larger bubbles. It looks really nice, and I love that mocha colored head. It's just a thing of beauty. Let's give it a sniff. You can smell the oatmeal, and it's also like hints of coffee and chocolate. It's got that, oh, it's hard to describe exactly what I mean when I smell oatmeal. It smells like that little bit of like a boiled water with the light oatmeal starchy smell to it. Now, oatmeal is technically an adjunct, but it's used in a beer like this to beef it up, basically. Make it thick. And it smells good, but surprisingly, the smell on this one isn't quite as thick as or strong as I was expecting. But what smells I do get there are a really nice chocolatey aroma. Let me see if I can sniff that bottle. Keep on bumping that wall. Very roasty. Well, not incredibly roasty, but a really, really nice roasty chocolate smell. I mean, I like that smell. It's just not as strong as I was expecting. So without further ado, I keep saying that, taste, please. Oh my, that's beautiful. It's very chocolatey. It's not quite as thick as I was expecting, though it is somewhat heavy, like medium heavy. It's got a little bit of a fruity tartness to it. And a nice espresso roasted bitterness in the back. Very much in with that roasted bitterness, there's a little bit of like an earthy bitterness as well, but it's blended in quite well. You can hardly taste the hops. It's mainly this roasted bitterness, chocolatey bitterness, but it's also a very mild bitterness. Lots of chocolatey malts, a little bit of coffee mixed in there, a subtle bit of a tartness as well, a fruity tartness, as well as it is really, really smooth and easy to drink. I mean, as you drink it, it kind of wraps your mouth around with that roasted bitterness, and it just goes down quite well. That's really quite good. Certainly enjoyable. Doesn't really finish very dry, like in the sense that it doesn't really dry your mouth a whole lot. You still get a fair bit of wetness in the back, but it's definitely pleasing, and you want to keep drinking it just because it tastes damn good. Anyway, I'm going to sit down with this one for a bit. I'll be right back with some thoughts. And I'm back with Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout. So, what did I think about this beer? Loved it. Loved every bit of it. Still drinking it though. I'm really enjoying this one. This is another one I think I want to sit down and enjoy. I find that this beer, and I know I do it a lot, but I hate drawing comparisons with other beers, but to be totally honest, it's a good way to draw a good perspective on this beer if you've had this other beer. And I'd like to compare this one to Saint Ambroise Oatmeal Stout. These two beers are really quite similar, except for this one isn't quite as rough or as thick. That one, the Saint Ambroise, is very like a girthy and a very rough, harsh kind of beer in certain senses. While both of them are very thoroughly enjoyable, I think this is a nice, really much easier to drink and easier to palate beer than those ones. Although really, if you're coming in from a like a macro lager or something, your experiences are of drinking just basic beers, you're probably not going to like this one, because this is going to be a huge culture shock, because it is still quite rough and quite harsh, but damn is it ever full of flavor. It really tastes good, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this. 5% ABV isn't really much, but you can't taste any alcohol at all. 550 milliliter bottle, I didn't notice that. Irregardless, this is an absolutely beautiful beer, and you guys owe it to yourself to try this one. Pick it up some point. I'm glad I got a chance to try this. Thank you, Heisel Mighty's wife. You know your name. I am really in awe to be able to try this, and thank you. I finally got to try a Sam Smith's product, and it's not a letdown either. It's really good. That is so good. Oh, it's such a nice taste. It almost got like a little bit of like Demerara sugar finishing off in the end, which is kind of like a darker brown sugar. Think Picaroon's Winter Warmer. Got that nice thick, it's almost got like a little bit of a peppery, earthy bitterness to the finish too. Anyway, I can keep going with this one. I'm going to finish this review off here and say that I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. Really quite good. Recommended. Thoroughly recommended. You see it, pick it up, and I really wish I could see it here so I could have this again. Beautiful. Anyway, thank you for watching Maxwell Starr's beer review. Hope you enjoyed watching the review, and it's an absolute pleasure to drink this beer for you guys. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.